Love is often said to be blind, but what happens when it truly is? This is not just a story of romance, but of resilience. A story that shows us that even in the absence of sight, the heart can still see clearly. A blind love takes us on a journey where faith, trust, and compassion overcome life's darkest moments, reminding us that love's greatest power is its ability to look beyond appearances and touch the soul. This is a love that doesn't need eyes to recognize what's real. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel and let me know in the comments which country you are watching from. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Now let's get into our story. The world was a symphony of sounds, a tapestry of textures, a whirlwind of scents. But for Lily, it was all shrouded in an impenetrable darkness. Blinded in an accident as a child, she had grown up in a world devoid of light, color, and faces. Her days were painted in shades of gray, her nights in an even darker blackness. Resentment festered within her, a bit of poison that seeped into every corner of her being. She resented the sighted, their easy laughter, their carefree movements, their ability to navigate the world with a confidence she could only dream of. Their world, filled with beauty and wonder, was forever closed to her. Lily retreated into herself, building walls of anger and bitterness in her as her only defense. Her heart was filled with childish wonder, hardened into a stone-cold and unforgiving heart. The world, she believed, had dealt her a cruel hand, and she saw no reason to offer it anything but her scorn. Daniel's arrival shattered the silence of Lily's world. He was a volunteer at the Center for the Visually Impaired, his voice a warm baritone that resonated with kindness and patience. His presence was like a ray of sunshine breaking through a stormy sky, bringing with it a glimmer of hope she had long forgotten. He read to her from books she could only imagine, his voice painting vivid pictures in her mind. He described the colors of the sunset, the delicate dance of a butterfly's wings, the laughter in the eyes of children playing in the park. He brought the world to life for her, filling the void within her with stories, laughter, and attentiveness she had never known. For the first time, Lily allowed herself to hope, to believe that maybe, just maybe, happiness was not beyond her reach. Daniel became her anchor, his love bringing light to her otherwise dark world. Despite the joy Daniel brought into her life, the longing to see never left Lily. It gnawed at her, a constant ache in her heart. She yearned to see the world through her own eyes, to witness the beauty that Daniel so eloquently described. One starlit night, as they sat beneath the vast expanse of the sky, Lily made a promise. "If I could only see," she whispered, her voice trembling with unshared tears. "If I could only have one day, 1 hour to see the world, I would marry you, Daniel." Her words hung in the air, a testament to the depth of her longing and the depth of her love for the man who had brought light into her world. A year later, a miracle seemed to occur. A possible donor had been found. The news came like a bolt from the blue, shattering the fragile peace Lily had built around her blindness. Fear warred with hope, excitement with trepidation. The surgery was long and arduous, the recovery slow and painful, but finally the day arrived. The bandages were removed, and for the first time, light touched Lily's eyes. The world exploded in a kaleidoscope of colors, shapes, and textures. She gasped, tears streaming down her face as she beheld the beauty of a world she had only imagined. Eager to share her joy with Daniel, Lily sought him out. She found him standing by the window, his back to her, his shoulders slumped as if bearing an immense weight. "Daniel," she breathed, her voice filled with awe and wonder. I can see the world." He turned a hesitant smile gracing his lips as he faced her, and that's when Lily's world crumbled. For standing before her, his eyes veiled in the same unseen darkness she had known for so long, was the man she loved. The shock was like a physical blow. It stole her breath, her voice, her ability to think. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. Her joy turned to ash in her mouth, replaced by the bitter taste of betrayal and disgust. All those months he had painted pictures of a world he himself couldn't see. He had described colors he had never witnessed, emotions he had only imagined. The realization hit her like a tidal wave, drowning her in a sea of disillusionment and anger. "You? You're blind?" She stammered, her voice barely a whisper. His smile faltered, his shoulders slumping further under the weight of her gaze. "Yes, Lily," he confessed, his voice heavy with pain she couldn't even begin to comprehend. Lily's anger was a living thing, consuming her, twisting her insides until she could barely breathe. She lashed out, her words like venomous darts aimed at the heart of the man who had loved her unconditionally. "How could you?" she cried, her voice raw with pain and fury. "How could you pretend to see?" He stood there, his head bowed, absorbing her anger with a stoicism that made her rage burn even brighter. "I never lied," he said quietly, his voice filled with the sadness that pierced through her anger. "I merely described the world as remembered it. I have only been blind for 3 months," which was the exact length of time that Lily had been able to see. Realization hit Lily with a force that caused her to stumble. Lily turned and walked away, leaving Daniel standing there alone. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Lily withdrew into herself, the joy of seeing tainted by the knowledge of Daniel's sacrifice. She saw the world with newfound clarity, yet the man she loved remained shrouded in a darkness she had escaped. One day, as she sat by the window, the memory of their promise beneath the starlit sky came flooding back, and with it came the devastation realization. Daniel had loved her enough to sacrifice his sight for her. He had given her the gift of life, knowing that he would remain in darkness. Shame washed over her cold and sharp. She had been so blinded about her own pain, her own resentment, that she had failed to see the depth of his love and the enormity of his sacrifice. Lily rushed to Daniel, her heart pounding in her chest. She found him sitting in the garden, his face turned toward the sun, a serene smile gracing his lips. He may not have been able to see the beauty of the world with his eyes, but he felt it with his heart, with a depth that she was only beginning to understand. Kneeling before him, tears streaming down her face, Lily took his hand. "Daniel," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion, "can you ever forgive me? I was so blind, so focused on my own pain, that I couldn't see the depth of your love." He turned toward her, his sightless eyes filled with an unspoken love that transcended words. "There's nothing to forgive, Lily," he said, his voice warm and reassuring. "I was able to give you a chance at a life you had never known, and seeing you happy, seeing you embrace the world with such joy, has been my greatest gift." At that moment she understood. She had been searching for sight, but she had found something greater. She had found a love that saw beyond appearances, a love that transcended physical limitations, a love that truly saw the heart. Lovingly, she took his hand in hers, leading him toward a life where she would assure that he would see the world through eyes filled with her unconditional love. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story of love, compassion, and encouragement. Then log on to our website for digital downloads and inspirational books to elevate your life, build your faith, and glorify God. We look forward to seeing you at https://www www.renewedmind369.com.